Back everyone. Today I'm going to show you how you can scrape leads for free and effectively, as well as automate the whole process. I'm going to show you what you should be doing and what a lot of people are doing, which you should be avoiding to get ahead of them. All right, let's get into it. So first of all, what a lot of people are doing, I'm just going to clear this off out of the way so you know what you need to avoid. All right, say my ICP is marketing agencies in the US. What a lot of people just do, they go to Apollo, right? Apollo is fine, but they just put US, they put their employee size, what's their preference. I'm going to show you a little bit of a tip about this as well. We're looking for employees within this range. Okay, then what a lot of people also are doing is just going to management and just clicking owner, founder, C-suite partner, right? We want to talk to those decision makers, right? So we want to talk to the owners. All right, sure, buddy, let's go. So you want to put email status as well as unverified, right? That's something just a given. This is sort of a no-brainer. Otherwise you're gonna have emails that are pretty much no-go. And then you just put your keywords here, right? So I'm looking for, all right, so here's your keyword: software development, web design, web development, right? Okay, so with this, you get like 60K leads, and I'll tell you exactly why this is bad. But firstly, the problem with this method, right? So this keyword feature sucks. It has improved a lot. So as you can see, you could have like, you can see what it filters for, right? So company name. So whether or not it has this in the company name. So as you can see, we're looking for software development companies, web design companies, web development companies. But what it actually does, it gives us companies who have the name software, web development, or just web design in their name. Like as you can see, web development, Echo 5 Digital, Web3, custom software, as well as like we of course enabled like social media tags. But this was a new feature Apollo added, because as previously it just had company names, but now you can enable all of these. So if you're doing this method, at least for the love of God, just enable all of them, like enable SEO description as well, so you're getting something similar, something like okay amount of leads, right? So with this example, it's just a little bit better. As you can see, we already scraped some of these emails up. But the problem with this, right, essentially you're doing this while your competitors are doing this as well, and you're wasting just a ton of leads, because this is the biggest total addressable market inside these databases. So let's not do this, because if you do this, you're going to be messaging the same type of people that everybody else is messaging, and your leads are going to be bombarded every single day with just generic emails. And even if you have a killer offer, killer copy, you know, it's just going to be a problem just landing in the inboxes of these people, because they just get so many emails, and most likely they have something set up so their emails are get filtered, because it's just so annoying for them, right? So what that means is, if you're just doing cold email to them, so your email reputation is going to tank and your campaign is not going to perform. You're going to waste time and money on just stuff that doesn't work. So I'm going to show you exactly what you should be doing instead. So let's just think of an example, right? So in our case, we are primarily focused around AgTech companies inside our main agency Corporate. So that's just what we're going to look for in today's example. All right, so what we need to do is very simple. We need to look for the directory, so the source. We need to go to the source, and what you'll do is just simply just type in the words what you need. In this case, I'm looking for AgTech companies, especially AgTech database, or you could do AgTech company database, any of the combination. Just try to think of like manually how you could research this, right? So let's just pick an example. All right, so let's just do pitch book. It is going to verify that you're human. All right, so this is one of them. Let's just look for another one. All right, let's just open up all of these, right, to see which one of them is worth our time. But most likely the ones I've already viewed at are the ones that good. Okay, so let's just load all of them. So here is 50 AgTech companies. Yeah, so in this one, this isn't a database. This is more of a newsletter. You could click here. Let's see, brand. Yeah, no, this one is not good. 2022. Again, this is just an article. This is Crunchbase, which is not what we're doing in this video. Crunchbase is again just another database like Apollo. But what I'm going to show you here is very, very simple, and you'll understand exactly how to do this. All right, yeah, perfect. So we found quite a few, and I'll give you a distinction between two of them. So two of them are free, and I'll explain why. So let's just start off with the paid ones, right? So this is called PitchBook. As you can see, it says there's almost 12,000 agtech companies, but if you want all the data, you're gonna have to pay. And this is really just more of a research platform. They don't really give you that many company details, so I would just avoid this solution. But there are like specific databases, like Surfy says top 10 agchem companies for a guide for sales, right? It says they have almost 37,000 agtech companies, and it seems like they've got a free trial going on to access all of that. But what you can do is, again, you can just scrape all these. And what we'll be doing here today is we're going to use Easy Scraper or Instant Data Scraper. All right, so we're going to use either one of these tools. They're both pretty much the same. This one's just a little bit more popular. I do believe this one is just tiny bit better. It has better features, so we're going to use Easy Scraper for this example. All right, so we're going to go back here, and in this case there's only 10 here. We're going to click Easy Scraper, and what it does, you don't need to do anything, right? It automatically detects these fields, right? The data that you want to scrape. And what we're looking for is, just to sum up, we're looking for domains, right? We're looking for these domains right here that we can later put inside Apollo and then enrich and get those data that nobody else is getting but you. All right, so this is obviously an easy example. You can just click this and you have 10 companies. 10 companies, not a lot, but you know, my goal with this is just to show you how you could do it. And obviously, if you want to, you can sign up. All right, okay, so I've just signed up for the free trial that they have going on here on Surf. So this seems like another B2B database, but this one is quite good because obviously Apollo, you cannot really filter on specific industries that well. They have a few categories, but in this one you can filter for agtech, which is quite good. So in this case, I'm going to show you the differences between just something like this and something like just something a little bit more advanced, right? Because as you can see, there's only like 10 companies per page. You don't want to just save like 10 companies in a file. That's just going to take way too long. So what you could do is just make sure you open it up inside like a spreadsheet here. So all right, so this is the data that we scraped, right? Just from this page, this is what we scraped, and I'm going to show you how you can use it. So you have you don't need to care about anything, any of this, right? None of this, only the company domains, which you can see right here. So as you can see, you copy these and you go back to Apollo. Let's just delete all these. All right, so we got something fresh. So make sure you have email status enabled or just verified. And then what you need to do, a little bit different, is just come to company. You click include list of companies. We're going to put our list. This is only 10 companies just for the sake of example. And then we're going to click save and search, and it is going to give us all the employees for these companies. So make sure it loads, you know, make sure everything's good. And as you can see, there's 80,000 employees here. Obviously, these are probably the biggest companies in agtech. As you can see, there's Bayer here as well. There's just so many people that work there. Maybe there's like an employee count. Yeah, as you can see. So that's just for the example. But okay, so let's just think of a different example, another exercise, right? So again, we logged on to Surf, just something random I found on my way of doing research for this. So all right, so in this case, all you really need to do again is just click Easy Scraper and it will load up the data. But in this case, since this is it didn't recognize, what you can do is you can just click hover on what you want to scrape and you can just scrape it. And what you need to do is just quick scroll to load more page, or link to navigate to next page, or click on button. In this case, it's a button, right? So we need to click select and we need to look for the button. All right, so and then it's just going to start scraping. The only problem with this, right, is this site seems to be very well protected, and as you can see, we are only able to search just one of these and we don't get the right data. So in this case, try using something else. It's okay. So let's just think of another example. I opened something else in the meanwhile in the background as well. So this is just super ideal. This is usually what you find, right? So just some random ass news site on the industry that you want, and it just lists a whole bunch of companies which nobody targets, right? So in this case, all you really need to do is just click here and just click on the list. As you can see, it recognizes everything nicely because they don't have any data scraping protection on this. So it's all good. And what you need to do is just click load on the next button. So in this case, again, it's just an arrow and you click this and you click start scraping, right? And it does the job for you. As you can see, It goes on to the next page. I'm not doing anything. It loads and it scrapes again. So you can put here how much time it should scroll for. You can also put the max items, just put it something crazy or just leave it blank, and you can put like scrape very fast, right? So just start scraping. I'm going to show you this example with Easy Scraper as well as Instant Data Scraper. So if you want to use this, just try this. As you can see, it recognized the wrong table, but that's fine. You can click try another table until you get what you're looking for, right? So this is what we want, because as you can see here we have the links for the companies, and then we can, what you need to do is just put something like something faster and click locate next button. So in this case, this is this. You can start scrolling, or if it's just an infinite scroll, you can click it. That's why I like Easy Scraper, because it has a little bit more features. We can click this and it is going to scrape everything for you very nicely. As you can see, it does everything super fast, super duper fast. We're not having any problems because I put it on 1 to 3 second delay. We're already on page 10. We have a ton of data collected. And okay, let's just stop here. And I'm going to download it as a CSV right here. So I'm going to show you why you should be using Easy Scraper instead in scenarios like this. It's good we ran into this roadblock, because this way I can show you exactly what's the problem with Instant Data Scraper, the Pokemon tool, right? So you don't get the exact company domain just from this search, but you get directed to a different page which you cannot use to enrich through Apollo. If you try to do it, it is just going to use this domain, which makes sense, right? Because it's a subdirectory of this domain, and this is not good. An Instant Data Scraper doesn't have a function which just goes deeper into the specifics. So let me show you what we got. This is what we got, right? So this is the image. We don't need the image. The thumbnail, don't need the thumbnail. This is what we need, right? So as you can see, it's all the same domain because it's inside this directory. And as you can see, there are all these different companies, which is really good for us. But again, if we go into one of them, then it's going to show the website. And you might be thinking, okay, but how we get inside of it? We only have this link. So let me show you how. So you go back to Easy Scraper. This is a feature that Instant Scraper doesn't have. You click, instead of scrape list, you scrape the details and you choose the file which you scrape. So we scrape that with Instant Data Scraper. You can do that with Easy Scraper as well. Doesn't matter. But what you need to do in this case, right? So if you have this domain within the page itself, which is usually the case, like as you can see, concert.bio, right? You need to do just a list scrape, and then you need to do a detail scrape. All right, so as you can see, it recognizes the pages, right? So if you click continue, it is going to bring you to one of the example pages, and within this page you can easily click just new scraper, and it just gives you what you want, right? So if you want the name, it is going to collect the name. If you want the website, which you should want, it is going to give you. In this case, well, this is just for job openings, but you know, you can just do, if you want, like the whole contact information as well, or just where they are, like Texas, right? So you can click finish, and it's going to collect 4 of these details in every single time, right? So Harvest Returns, that's the name of the company, where it's located, as well as the company domain. And with that in mind, you can just click continue. You can start scraping, or you can just select how fast it should go, and then let it go. And what it's going to do is it's going to open up all of these pages that we saw here. And as you can see, you can do it in the background as well. You don't need to be here. It is going to go through and collect. For some reason, it missed 4 and 7, but I think the data was just not there. As you can see, it was not there for some reason, not sure why. And what it does is it's just going to go through and give you all those juicy domains, right? So very simple, very cool. It does it automatically. As you can see, there's 130 more. There's, I think, like 1,000 companies in this whole directory, which is quite a lot. I'm not going to obviously go through the whole thing, so I'm just going to show you again how you can use this. Is just open up a random Google sheet and just input the scraped data that you have. let it obviously go through. And if you have like any problems, you know, with scraping, just make sure you dial it down on a lower setting. You can, you know, plug your computer on at night if you have a laptop, or you just leave PC on at night, just put it to sleep. It will do its job regardless. You don't need to have an active tab focused. I just put it like something like 5 to 25 seconds, and you're not going to have problems scraping thousands and thousands of companies. So with that in mind, as you can see here, we have the good and the juicy domains. So we can just go back to Apollo and just input these domains, right? So these are going to be smaller companies. This is more of a niche database, but as you can see, since we put a lot more of these companies in, we have 135,000 leads we can target. Now, the problem is, right, we don't want to target all of these people because it would just be too many. So what I recommend you to do instead is just, again, location is fine. Location is absolutely fine. We don't have a beef with location. Just put US or whatever. Let's just say for this example, I want to target US companies. So US, there's only 25K people that we can target at this point, which is fine. Let's just do job titles. What I recommend you to do is, again, just you can use owner, you can use founder, as well as C-suite partner. But the problem is, if you're targeting big companies, you're not going to be able to reach these people because they have people who are actively screening their emails for these types of cold emails that you're trying to send them. So even if you want to only send to these people, they're not going to respond to you. So there is an inverse effect in marketing. So the more money people have, the less likely it is that they want to talk to you. And unfortunately, the less money they have, the more likely it is they're going to talk to you. So let's just think of an example of how we can fix this. Obviously, you don't want to target interns. You don't want to target entry-level people, or even seniors for that matter. But you can put VP, you can put head, you can put director. And this one's a controversial one, but you can put manager. The reason I like to do it is because it gives me just a whole bunch more to work with, first of all, as well as you don't know the regional managers have certain authority, and it's worth it to send to them because, first of all, who wouldn't want more opportunities, right? So important, just click managers, and even if it just extends the sales cycle, it doesn't matter because you're going to have a lot more opportunities. Right, for the next one, I don't recommend you to target 1 to 10 employee companies. Reason is because they're most likely broke and they cannot afford your services. So do 11 to 20 and 21 to 50. This is the sweet spot, right? So you can also do 51 to 100. Obviously, we did not get that many because the bulk of it is from these enterprise companies, but that's fine. So it's important to do a lot of these. We only put like 10 companies, right? So if you put 1,000, you're not going to be out of leads. If you get like 1,000 of these, you know, companies, because, you know, AgTech is sort of segmented and niche, and there's still like 5,000-6,000 companies in your niche. There's more likely than 10,000 companies which you can play with, and for every 1,000 companies, as you can see, there's like 30 contacts. So for every 10 companies, there's like at least 30 contacts. So you should not have any problems just getting like tens of thousands of leads you can reach out to. And if you get lost on what to do after you've gone through them, you can just always create a new campaign with a new offer and just retarget those people with a different angle. All right, in the meanwhile, this is still scraping. So as you can see, it took 5 minutes. We already got 77. So if I were to use this, I could just put 60 more of these companies, but I don't really need this, just for the sake of example. And obviously each page is going to look different. Let's just think of this example as well. All right, so right off the bat, I got 104 companies I could use. Obviously, as you can see, we don't have the exact domain, but you can just do what I've just shown you here. Again, it's just click scrape list. We got the list, we input the list, and very simply, it's just going to bring me to this page. And man, every single time, all of these directories are the same. It has the name. You don't really need anything besides the domain, but I'm just showing you. So you can just click start scraping options, and it'll do the exact same thing. It's just going to go to the next one. As you can see, there's the domain again. There is the domain again. Another 5-10 prospects we can email per like couple of seconds, right? And these are domains and companies that nobody else is targeting. And you might be thinking, okay, but they're still on Apollo, and if you just bash the whole Apollo database, then you'll get to them. Sure, that's obviously true. But the problem is, usually these companies you cannot find with keyword targets or industry targets, because, for example, these are within agriculture, AgTech, and you cannot target ag-tech company with just keywords on Apollo. So that's why it's important to go to the directories, just like I've shown you. There's so many of them. I've just found like there's another one here, right? So there's 70 of them here. Obviously our niche is small, but 70 is good. Again, what I could do is just click scrape list. I could scrape details. I could put this one here, and I could do this. Again, here we have the website. Every single time, if you want the name, if you want the website, all you need to do is this, and just make sure it goes a little bit faster for the sake of this example. And again, as you can see, another website right here, another website right here, another 5 to 10 leads per company we could just target, right? So this is really all you need to do. It's not complex. I'm not sure why a lot of people are not doing this. So make sure you don't make this mistake of just going with Apollo, going with Crunchbase, or any of the lead databases that you're using. Just don't use like keywords filters. Just do the work, go get those domains, and just enrich them. And once you do, you could use Apollo, you could use any of the databases, you know, out there pretty much respectively. If you're doing like tech, just use Crunchbase, right? If you want, or if you want this sheet, like we literally tested every single lead database. I'm gonna put this in the link in the description. It's just going to be a link to this document. It's not gonna be no sign up, no free training, none of that. So if you want this sheet, if you want to compare yourself, okay, which of the databases are best to use, which has the best pricing, once you have these domains, then you can just check this out for yourself. There's no opt-in or anything. And you know, once you have this, if you want to use Apollo, I recommend you to use a tool like LeadDeck. And if you join the community, you get 75% off, which is quite cool. So if you want to scrape this, all you really need to do is just click here, put the Apollo link, put your email, your file name, and the amount of leads you want. And then you can just order this and it will be delivered to you within a couple hours. And you can get leads for as cheap as $1 per 1,000 leads. So really you cannot beat that. If you're using anything else to enrich it, that's also fine. But you can really use any tool to enrich it. At the moment, there's only Apollo, but there will be Crunchbase, LinkedIn, and all sorts of other databases that you can enrich this with. But again, you can just use anything that you prefer. This was not focused on local business scraping. We're going to talk about that more in a different video, but that still applies. So if you're just looking for, say, roofers in select area, there is directories of roofers. Local business scraping is a little bit more simple, I would say. It's different. It's not the same. I think it's just a little bit more simple. But if you do that, you're not going to get the best results. And we'll be posting a video very shortly on how you can do that as well for local business scraping, if that's the niche that you're targeting. All right, so with that in mind, again, if you want this sheet, it will be in the description. No opt-in, nothing. If you want to talk with me or my team on how you can automate this process, you can click the second link in the description. And with that in mind, I'll see you in the next one.